All right, Rashad, so we're just talking about the Eastern Conference. Let's shift over to the Western Conference, okay? The Western Conference has been stacked this year. You got the Suns securing the 1 seed. You got the Warriors returning back to form. Even the Grizzlies have made a surprising leap. They're one of the top teams there, too. That young, talented team. Ja Morant is hooping, bro. I really like that game.
That's my number, Joe Shiesty. So,
Ja Morant. Okay. I see that, man. But look, we got to talk about them, the Utah Jazz, okay? This has been a steady playoff team for some years now, of course. They transitioned from Gordon Hayward to Donovan Mitchell, but it just hasn't worked in their favor, so to say. It hasn't. Donovan Mitchell came into the league immediately as a 20-point-per-game scorer, but the rest of the team is, of course you have Rudy Gobert, multi-time Defensive Player of the Year, but Joe Ingles, they traded him too. He's old. The roster's getting old.
It's really getting old. Really.
And you talk about what they've done in the playoffs. They've blown multiple 3-1 leads. They haven't made it to a conference finals yet since Donovan Mitchell has gotten there. I got a question for you, Rashad. What do the Jazz do if they fail once again this offseason? Do you blow it up, or do you try to run it back one more time with the same core?
Honestly, my personal opinion, before I even answer my question, they fans deserve the most respect. Because every playoff, the color coordination, the T-shirts.
It's great.
It's great. But it's like the production on the court is not matching up at all. And I feel as though this has been going on years after year after year after year. In my personal opinion, I think they should rebuild. Honestly. I think they should rebuild because if this squad, and they don't have no capacity to make moves,
definitely,
they got to go in rebuild mode. Honestly, do it like OKC. Not do it fully like OKC did, got rid of everybody and start fully rebuild. But I would say build around Rudy Gobert.
Oh, over Donovan?
Honestly, no, Donovan could stay. I would say getting repeats like Joe Ingles. Okay, Joe Ingles is cool, but you have to get that another piece for them, like another young piece. Not, I would say in the draft, but actually in free agency as well. Like Jazz had to be more aggressive in free agency. If they want this like curse or anything to ease up, or they can make that run to the finals, they have to because you're in the Western Conference Finals. Western Conference, you have the Warriors back to the final form with Klay Thompson. Everybody's back in that 2015 Warriors that we all know and love. You got the Phoenix Suns that's playing elite basketball. And you also have Ja Morant with the Grizzlies. That's been a huge surprise.
We didn't even talk about Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks as well.
Exactly. Honestly,
Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets, but
exactly. So it's like it's really getting space. So if the Jazz definitely want to compete in the conference, even in the division, they have to make those certain moves because they're going to end up losing. I would say not fan bases, but fan tendencies for the playoffs or just like fans in general. Because you always got them bandwagon fans.
Yeah,
so I would say like that. That would give you my answer.
Definitely. I'm going to have to agree with you on that one, man. I think they have to blow it up. Honestly, it's a shame because the core is just really nice, but players are getting old. Mike Conley is 34 now. Will be 35 by season's end. Bojan Bogdanovic used to be this 20-point-per-game guy with them.
Yeah,
he's 32.
He was a
yup,
guy.
And the Pacers. He was nice, but he's going to be 33 in a couple weeks. Jordan Clarkson was a nice six-man last year. Maybe you can flip him for something.
Not consistent.
Not consistent, but yeah. And I mean, you're paying Rudy Gobert, who, of course, is this defensive monster.
Build around him.
$40 million, though. He's not like a build-around type of guy and can lead you to the promised land. I'm sorry, he's not. So I feel like you have to try to make some aggressive moves. And if that means sacrificing key pieces, like if a Rudy Gobert trade comes up, honestly, I'd do that if I was the Jazz.
Honestly, I would too, because this require more talent as well. Because you got that $40 million contract in your cap space. You can't make no moves. You can make a move and get like a decent center and have more offensive pieces on your offense, or even making your bench a little bit solid as well. So really, because that's really gonna come down to as well. Because if Donovan comes out, who's gonna come in and replace him and put up at least like 10, 15 at the average to maintain those leads and maintain the finish job on the bench.
Definitely. I mean, we talk about the last couple of champions too. We see how much having a great wing player can do wonders for your team. I mean, last year, Giannis, one of the best wings in the league. We have LeBron, KD, Kawhi Leonard. You see it. If a trade comes up for Rudy Gobert, I feel like they have to take it. The only untouchable on this team for me is Donovan Mitchell.
I could agree with that. It's like it can go either way for me. Like I would say, I did say, Joe, it can go either way. I'll be fine either way. Either way, they have to create some type of moves.
Definitely.
Either way, it was Rudy Gobert or Donovan Mitchell or Joe Ingles. They had to be aggressive in free agency, even in the draft. They have to. It's mandatory.
Definitely. And I mean, it kind of sucks too because we've seen, the teams around
We've
them
seen the
being
potential.
aggressive.
We've seen the potential with
The
them.
Suns too. The Suns had a top pick. They traded some of their picks as well as players
sacrificed.
to get Chris Paul, and we see how much that's worked out for them.
They went to the finals.
Definitely. So
And they're number
and it
one
looks like
seed
they're gonna
now.
go back again. So
Exactly.
But yeah, man, it's tough. But at least you still have Donovan, who's only 25 years old. You got some time, relatively. You don't want to wait too long,
And that's when it's like 30, 31, 32.
Definitely.
But
You
just
gotta
right.
try something, man.
I'm swag, swag, I'm swag, swag, I'm swag, swag, I'm swag, swag, I'm swag, swag.